Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Minot Sports Podcast. We are back again in the studios, possibly our last show inside Swain Hall until we move right into the brand new Hartnett studios. So exciting times coming ahead here. We are recording on Tuesday, June 25th. That is Honeybee's home opener day, but we're not going to be focused on them. We have a different kind of situation here to show off to you guys here. Again, we talk Minot sports. We have in all kinds of guests and just really giving all kinds of analysis, score updates, and what have you. So again, I'm your host, Cole Clementich. Glad to bring you guys another great show that we have for you on hand today. And today we have recreational competitive boys volleyball in the Magic City, the Crusaders Boys Volleyball Club. We're so proud to be joined by a couple of the team members alongside with us, Juju Ugobi and Noah Lawson. Boys, welcome into the show. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, pretty great.
Awesome. Well, just kind of talk to us about the birth story of Crusaders Boys Volleyball. Who or what got it started, and just kind of describe the origin of Crusaders.
Yeah, I guess I could start with that. Boys volleyball is very popular in Canada. That's where I was born. That's where I lived for 10 years of my life. And so I played, middle school, played elementary school, all that. And then I moved to Minot in 2019. And I remember distinctly, asking my gym teacher about boys volleyball. And it was like, oh, that's a girl's sport. And it's like, we don't have that here. And so ever since then, I was like, man, this needs to be a thing. I just want this to be a sport in Minot. And so senior year, this past year, it was summer, and me and my friend Marcus, I was just talking to him. I was like, we got to make this a thing. We got to somehow get this to be a sport in Minot. And he was like, I don't know if this is possible. And it was just like, it was an idea. But then in January, I was like, it's a do or die. This is our last chance to make this a thing before we go off to college and stuff like that. And so, we just started strategizing, started talking, and figuring out how we're going to make this work, asking for advice from different people and stuff like that. And it took a lot of planning and a lot of coordination, but we ended up being able to find a coach, Aubrey Greedle. She used to go to our Redeemers, and so we asked her to help us out as a coach, and then got gym space from our Redeemers and then from some other elementary schools in our area as well. And then, getting a team together as well, just putting word out there and being like, hey, if you want to play boys volleyball, we have this team called the Crusaders, and we're going to be around for a long time, and we're going to bring this sport to Minot. So that's kind of the bit of the origin story there, just, wanting it to happen since I moved here from Canada, and then just working together with my friends from school and getting it going.
So that is how you guys were able to get a matchup going with another Canadian squad. We'll get more into all those details in a little bit here, but that's a lot of good stuff there, Juju. Noah, anything to add on to that? Were you part of this conversation, and just kind of, expand more on that a little bit if you can?
I was not part of the original making of the volleyball team. I came after I heard that it had already been made.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I mean, it's still, kind of very fluid. It seems like you guys got a great thing going on, getting it to have sanctioned competition. And, I have a question here later on that talks, maybe the future for boys volleyball in North Dakota. But, moving on from that, obviously there's no other boys volleyball club like this, despite that you guys had a few matches against teams like Jamestown. I mentioned Canada Club. We'll dive deep more into that. You guys had a first game down in Bismarck, and you also mentioned Aubrey Greedle, the coach who used to play volleyball at our Redeemers. More on that in a little bit, but just kind of tell us, more of the motivation. What was the idea, behind getting this team started, getting this team with boots on the ground?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's just I don't know about but playing PE in gym, volleyball, in gym class with the boys, it's really fun. And we do it for gym class, and people be like, man, this should be a sport for boys and whatever. And it's just man, if it's possible to make it happen, why not? And so I don't want it to be that just because it doesn't exist in Minot, that boys who want to play volleyball can't play volleyball. And so that was my motivation, really, was giving boys a chance. If they want to play, and if it's something that they enjoy, I want them to be able to do it and have that opportunity that, to play the sport that they love. And so that was the biggest motivation for me, was that if boys want to play a sport that is fun and it's competitive and it's exciting, then why shouldn't they be able to have that chance, you know?
And you guys even had a home game, and that there's you guys have referees. Was there any fan support at that home game?
Yeah, we had a couple friends.
There you go. Nice. Nice. No, that is, getting the support started off like that. I mean, hey, there's a lot, you guys, more on that. You guys have a coach. You touched on the coach, Aubrey Greedle. Rumor has it you guys also have a manager, a team chaplain. I mean, you guys have everything. And the referees, you guys have been able to travel. Just the support system, surrounding the efforts and bringing this team to light. What was the step-by-step process in the structure of this team, the operational status? How have you guys been able to put all that together?
Yeah, I guess obviously the first step in most clubs is getting a coach. You can have a fantastic team without a coach. It's really just null and void. So that was the first thing for me, was I need to get a coach. So I called a lot of people, a lot of former alumni of our Redeemers, a lot of people from my church, and then it just happened that Aubrey Greedle was the first one to say yes and be available. And so that was probably the first step. And then once we got a coach, step was getting a manager, because it's hard just being, a senior in high school running a club all by yourself. So my friend Jenna Roscoe, who's another senior from our Redeemers, she was like, I see you're doing this club, and, I'd love to help you out. And so that's how she became team manager. And then team chaplain, I was at my church. I had a prayer request. I was like, please pray for me, because I'm doing a volleyball club thing. And then one of the deacons at our church heard about it, and he was like, I would love to help you out. I played volleyball in high school too. And then I was like, okay, then could you be our chaplain? And he was like, yeah, I'd love to. And so that's how we got the three staff for our club, and then getting a team together. Like I said, just putting the word out there, and then that's how we got the team.
No, that is really good stuff there, Juju. I mean, just to have, prayers answered, and just like that. And it's really, really cool sequence. Obviously, you guys mentioned the Our Redeemers connection. Talk about the making of the identity of the team, the logo, the Crusaders. Obviously, Our Redeemers is the Knights, Crusaders. When I look on Instagram, I kind of see the logo. It has a lot of similarities with this Knights logo. Did that help you guys with the choosing of the logo, or just kind of describe how the identity was formed?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It was interesting, because at first we were actually called the Knights Volleyball Club. We weren't actually called the Crusaders. It was supposed to be just Our Redeemers Knights kids. But through a series of events, we ended up being more independent from the school, just because of there's a lot of policy regulation that comes from being a school-sponsored club. So we just thought it'd be best to be more independent. And so we had a lot of voting in our group chat originally. We just put it out there, what should our name be? What should our team colors be, whatever. And there was tons of ideas. People wanted to be blue, yellow, whatever. And it got kind of chaotic. So we were like, you know what, we're just going to let the captains and the manager decide. And so we formed a separate group chat, and we were like, okay, we were called the Knights before, but we're going to switch from that to something else. What's something that kind of encapsulates the idea of being a knight, like a soldier, but still different enough that it's our whole new identity. And so I was like, Crusaders is an idea. And then our captains and our manager was like, yeah, that sounds good. And so we decided on that. And then color-wise, we were like, okay, we don't want to be blue. We want to be different enough from the Knights. What's a good color that stands out and that kind of shows that entrepreneurial type feeling, because we're a brand new club, something that's kind of that's different and unique. And we were like, red and black would be cool. And so we voted on it, and that's how we came up with Crusaders, red and black, and that's how we get our identity.
It reminds me of that Tampa Bay Buccaneers color scheme and logo. And Noah, when you first saw the logo, was that a big hook? Was that a big talking point, or I guess, to see that, man, this looks really cool? Were you most intrigued by that when you first joined?
Yeah, I really appreciated how the logo looked, especially since I was expecting it to be the Our Redeemers team, and then I saw it switch, and I was like, whoa, it's actually kind of cool that the team's becoming more independent.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys, it's all, as mentioned, coming together. You guys are, it's a lot of moving parts, and to see it all just really overall from a whole team perspective. Like you guys are doing some really impressive stuff, leading by example, leading it. Obviously the group chats are like the old reliable for our generation, but yeah, I like what you guys are doing with that. And really, if there was one thing that each of you, I'll include both of you, that you wanted to share about this team, what would it be? What else should people know about the Crusaders? If you had to market yourselves, what should people know about you guys?
Yeah, I guess I could start with that. I mean, the biggest thing for me is that we have fun, and it's there's not a situation where we're pressuring people to, you got to do better. We're getting on people. We want you to achieve your highest potential, but we're here to support you. And everyone on our team is at different levels. We have players that have been playing for years, some that are brand new. And we just want to see improvement. We want to see people getting better, and we want to see people enjoying the sport. And so, yeah, the biggest thing about us is that we're here to have fun, and we're going to support each other. We're going to, treat each other with respect. It's a team that you can feel safe in and truly, enjoy being a part of. And that's the biggest thing for us, is that the Crusaders aren't just a team, but we want to be a family at the end of the day. And so, yeah, that's the biggest thing for me, and it's why I loved being part of the Crusaders over this last year.
Yeah, I really appreciated that. I was a complete beginner at volleyball. I didn't know anything, but because of Aubrey, I was able to learn how to play volleyball really well.
Yeah.
So I think anyone who joins and doesn't know how to play volleyball can still learn how to be excellent at the game because of Aubrey.
100%.
I think that's insane, Noah. Like to learn about that, you can just be have no experience, no knowledge of the game, and for you, a testament of that, for this Crusaders ball club, that's amazing to me. That's really cool, and that just tells for a great story, Noah. So I like what you guys are doing. Obviously, the family friendly type of environment. So hopefully, we can see, and for you guys, just some growth with it. I'd love to come check out a game sometime. Maybe do some coverage with that, and just kind of moving on. Talking about the basic team setup, who makes up of the roster? Is it just RE Deemers, or are there other schools, local schools represented on this team?
Yeah, well, Noah's not RE Deemers, he's in Minot High.
Okay, all right.
So we have more kids from Minot High as well. Probably I want to say 4 or 5 from the Minot public school system, but the majority do come from RE Deemers. That's where the idea started from. So yeah, we have 6 players on the starting lineup. Typically, it was me, Marcus, Malachi Baldwin, Jacob Rose, Wyatt Dakota, and Braden Rose. That was our starting team. And yeah, it's a mix of Mount High and RE Deemers, which is one of the cool things too, is
nice.
Coming together in that way, having both schools involved, not just RE Deemers, not just Mount High, but time for both schools to come together and play for the Crusaders, which is really cool.
And I'll make a point now. Usually, most cases where Minot High, they'll have swim, tennis, soccer, hockey. Usually, most of the times when RE Deemers kids, they'll just go there to play that respective sport. Now it's you guys are kind of taking matters into your own hands. Hey, we got a sport that you guys can come play for. So that's really cool. I was looking over the Instagram, kind of doing some pre-show notes or looking for some content, and I saw one of the posts. Some of you guys were wearing some Minot High sweatshirts. I kind of figured, but just wanted to be safe just in case about that. But no, that's really cool, and to be able to mix it up, get some more local kids involved with that. So, what have you guys learned as players? Just basic, bare bones, running a team, scheduling matchups, doing all that. What have you guys learned so far in this experience?
What to say? Kind of at a loss for words here.
Take a second if you need to. Yeah, really, it's just it might sound like a loaded question. Does someone else do that for you guys? Does Coach Greedle or the team chaplain do they help and all that stuff?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, as far as the management side of things, it was mostly me and Jenna doing all the scheduling and stuff like that. And the biggest thing I learned about that was just you have to be really proactive. The faster you get things sorted out, the better. Since we were this is our first season, a lot of times we would have a game scheduled or something, and then something would come up and we have to cancel it, and that always stinks, right? And so for me personally, I learned okay, it's better to be proactive and schedule things earlier than later. and to make things as smooth as possible for the club. But yeah, I guess as far as management, that's what I would say.
And yeah, you brought up something that's important there in that chat, that things aren't always going to go like for a startup team, a brand new team like the Crusaders. Things aren't always going to go as smooth. I think if looking at it from a wide range perspective like that's good that you guys stayed, like you mentioned, proactive, staying persistent, keeping on track, scheduling, whatnot. That's always a great mindset to have. So, and for matchups, going just like single games, you guys play at the old gym in RE Deemers, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So at the old gym in RE Deemers, that's where you guys just recently had a home game. You got a team. Now this is where we get this Canadian connection.
Yeah.
You guys got, was it the Tigers? They were called the Tigers. You got them to come down here. Was that easy? What all went into that? And did it take a while to kind of get settled into those scheduling matchups?
Yeah, man, that was a crazy story how the Tigers came to be, because literally, like I said, I was born in Alberta, so I was familiar with the area of like Carnduff, Estevan, that area. So I was like, they're pretty close to Minot, like they're only about an hour away. And looking for matchups, looking for fun stuff, like one of the biggest things for us is make history. That's one of our kind of our slogans. And so I was like, I don't think there's ever been a time where a Minot team has faced a Canadian team in boys volleyball. And so I was like, why not us do it? So literally I just saw them on Facebook. I reached out to them via Facebook DMs.
Nice.
And they responded. They're like, yeah, that's such a cool idea. Like, we'd love to do this border battle series with you guys, and we'll come down. You guys can come up to us. And that's how it came to be. Like, literally just Facebook messaging. We just figured out a good time, a good place, and just like that, we were facing Carnduff Tigers from Saskatchewan. Great.
Nice. So sometimes it's just that easy. Just use Facebook Messenger. I'm looking for not a brand new car, a used car, but a car that's newer than my current one. I've been on Facebook Messenger a lot lately.
You can do some magic.
Yeah, it is well worth it there. And again, going off of from the Instagram earlier, I see the highlights. It looks really legit. Like what you guys have going on. It looks like sanctioned volleyball. Is there a scenario, where you guys see boys volleyball being like an official sport someday by the NDHSAA? And are you trying to be catalysts for it? Obviously, starting this club up.
Yeah, I mean, I think no one would agree with this too, but I would love to see it as a sport sanctioned in North Dakota. I don't see why it can't be. I think Minnesota now has a sanctioned boys volleyball part of their system there. So it's being done all over the country. It's growing really fast, and I think North Dakota should join in and make it a sport. And so if Crusaders can help speed that up in any way, that'd be awesome.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Minot have a boys volleyball team. It's going to be awesome.
And you mentioned Minnesota. There could be some possible more regional matchups to go around, and the more games, the merrier.
Exactly.
So, and to see, if Minnesota can get it started, easily North Dakota can as well. So, Juju, good idea right there, and good stuff, Noah. So, to check here again, Jamestown was your first opponent, correct? The Pioneers.
Yes.
Jamestown Pioneers.
What a
Okay.
game.
So, were you guys aware that there was some presence of boys volleyball in other parts around the state? And, did that go into your upbringing of this team?
Yeah, I didn't find out till we had this idea, and I was researching for people to face. And honestly, shout out to them, because they've done a really cool job there, like being really the first ever North Dakota team. Their coach, Downey's really, really great guy, and he's helped us, with ideas for how to run our club, and since we're starting up, first year as well. So yeah, I mean, they're doing fantastic for themselves. They practice at U of Jamestown, so they have that good place to practice, and they're doing really good growing the sport in their own way. And so honestly, like, of course, we're rivals on the court, but off the court, working together to grow the sport.
That is great stuff, man. I mean, just the idea that it's sports is competition. It's not always like do or die. Like you hate the other opponent like with a passion. No, like these are real things, real people coming together to put a great product out there, and an opportunity for people to come check out, something brand new, of course. So that is really cool to see there, Juju. And more on that, with Jamestown, them practicing, the Pioneers practicing at University of Jamestown. They're going to be coming an NSIC school here pretty soon, so they're going to be rivals with Minot State more often now. So there could be, I don't know, maybe a lot more to hook up with some more games here in the near future, or possibility for that. You guys play at the old RE Deemers gym, Is there maybe sort of any future plans? Like what's the next step look like for you guys? So obviously more teams to compete against, maybe more travel, funding, school support. Is there maybe an idea for like double headers for a game before a girls varsity game at RE Deemers? Like, could we see any games at the auditorium or at the Dome? It might seem like a loaded question, but any future aspirations with that?
No, those are good ideas, Cole. You were just mentioning, like, I didn't even think about that, like doing a doubleheader before a game or something like that. That's a really cool idea. But I'm always open to like things like that. I just want to see the sport grow. So yeah, we do have things down the pipe. Something I can't say necessarily yet. They're just coming down. But yeah, some good opportunities. We have some games scheduled for January against Canada again, so that'll be fun. Heading back up there. We have some more camps and stuff planned, more like promotional things to try to like show the sport off to the community for boys. And yeah, we have a lot of good stuff coming down the line, and our goal is just really to grow every single year. So whether that's playing, like you said, the Dome or the Odd, and or getting a new team and making a U12 team or U13 team, just we always want to grow and improve every single season. So yeah, good stuff coming down the pipe for sure.
I'm a grad assistant for Minot State. I will definitely vouch for you guys when those meetings come around, when they have to, who is it, Keegan and Ryan, they kind of help set up the schedule for the Dome. I'll make sure if I ever get in one of those meetings, I will vouch for you guys get a game working in the Dome, even just a practice or a scrimmage even. Did you guys ever scrimmage with any of the current girls varsity players? If yes, if no, either or, have they given any of their input with Coach Greedle? She has previous time with the game. Were you guys able to kind of take anything away from them and apply it to your own situation?
Yeah, I mean, Maya Vibeto, in my opinion, one of the best RE Deemers athletes of all time. She was really helpful, and like when we had our games at RE Deemers old gym, she would like come down, she would cheer us on, and she would like help us out, set the net up, and get balls for us and everything like that. So when people like that support you, and like she's well known in the Minot community for her athletic abilities, and when she comes down to support, it's like, wow, we're getting recognition, and she's in our class as well. And so it's really nice that she was able to help us out. And yeah, they just told us like work hard in practice, like what they learned from their experience, like work hard in practice, communicate, and things like that, like we applied to our team from their wisdom.
She is a big ball of energy. Shout out to Maya. She'll be going off to Bismarck State next year in her volleyball endeavors. And like you mentioned, just those little things, like getting a cart of volleyballs out, setting up the net, and making sure the court is in pristine shape. Yeah. I don't know if she did that part, but just, making sure the game day experience is worth it, not only for the players, but, making some space, some room for the fans, all that. Like there's a lot that goes into it, and you guys are doing, such great work with that, of course. And, where can people find you guys? Let's talk about scheduling. You mentioned January game upcoming here. Mm-hmm. Has that been sorted out yet? If not, just kind of give some information about where people can find you at the home games. Well, obviously at the RE Deemers old gym, but when can people find you on maybe social media, or like any ideas for home dates for games?
Yeah, totally. So we're still getting everything figured out for next year, of course. It's still early on in the season, but we're going to be definitely trying to play more so in bigger locations. So trying to work on the auditorium and the Dome, getting some big games there. Nice. But yeah, largely you'll find us at RE Deemers old gym. We'll have most of our games there. We'll be facing teams from Canada again, from Minnesota hopefully as well this season. Season starts in January, officially first games. Practices will be happening at Purgate Elementary School twice a week. So yeah, if you want to stop by, even if you just want to say, I'm interested a little bit, Tuesdays And Thursdays or Mondays and Fridays, we'll decide about that soon. But either one, you just stop by Purgate Elementary, and we'll be there practicing. So as social media goes, Crusaders Boys Volleyball on Facebook, Instagram. We have YouTube as well, Crusaders Boys Volleyball. So check out our channel, check out our Instagram, Facebook page, and keep up to date with what we're doing there.
And I've already seen some of the stuff you guys have posted on there, but this is just more so for you guys, the people watching or listening. Check them out. They already got all kinds of highlights. They got full game live streams already in the archives. So yeah, you can find some of their highlights on there. And again, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Crusaders Boys Volleyball. A lot of good stuff here going on, boys. And I'll ask you, Noah, have you tried to? I've seen some Minot High sweatshirts in some of those photos, but have you tried to recruit some more Minot High kids to the team?
I've been looking for them. I'm hoping to bring in a couple next year. We'll see what happens.
Hey, yep, never know. We're worth a shot. So good luck in that. And this all seems like a really, really nice opportunity to touch into something that is maybe not unknown, but just filling a hole where providing more opportunities for guys like you and maybe in for the future. And Juju, you also mentioned the idea of camps. I think that's wonderful, to get young boys interested in the sport. I think that's a easy, that's a gold mine to get interest started in the sport. So any plans for that? Like you mentioned camps, obviously, any plans for that? Anything that you guys have also in mind for like future endeavors and whatnot? I know I'm kind of double dipping from some earlier questions, but this is fascinating. Keep telling us more here.
Yeah, so camp-wise, there's somebody named Kyle Kuther in Bismarck. He is the founder of Green Wave Volleyball Club. They're another club. They're based in Bismarck, and he actually is willing to give us a camp down in Bismarck. So that's coming down the pipe potentially.
Sweet.
And then working on some stuff with MSU too. Actually, trying to get a camp with the MSU volleyball coach. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe Coley could help us give a good word in for us. But
hey, shout out Coach Courtney. I'm gonna mention that to her too.
Yeah, definitely. So things like that. Yeah, we just want to anyone who's willing to collaborate with us. Even you, Mary. We actually reached out to them about doing camp at their school. So yeah, we're just really looking for anyone who wants to collaborate with us. We're very open to working with a lot of different people for camp and stuff like that. So yeah, that's one thing camp wise. And then I'll talk about sponsors a little bit here too, because that's one of the biggest things that's helped us with our club is sponsorships. It's really cool because a lot of sponsors don't want to take on the responsibility of sponsoring a brand new club with no history or whatever, but thanks to Qdoba, owned by Chad Thompson, and
nice.
Van Winkle Painting, owned by Chris Van Winkle, they gave us some funds, and that gave us the ability to travel and have jerseys, nice jerseys and stuff like that, and help us get our season started. So that's definitely a big part of our season. So we want to get more sponsors too coming up. That'll help us. So we have some cool things like that coming down the line. Like
we've said, the more the merrier, the better. That is, again, all kinds of really unique stuff. Like you said, Juju, coming on down the line here. And, you mentioned the jersey. I saw them on, that one highlight reel on Instagram. They look really nice. Yeah, and were those, for creating a team, for team management, we'll touch more on that. Were the jerseys easy to make? What went into that? Just kind of touch on that.
Yeah, I think Noel, you like the jerseys, right? Yeah.
Oh, the jerseys are so nice. I love them.
So that's one of the things. I wanted the jerseys to be people would enjoy wearing them, and so typically for men's volleyball, you see the short sleeves or the tank top type jerseys, but our whole thing is just being unique and being different, and so it's not as common, but there are teams that wear long sleeve jerseys, and the benefits of that is that when you dive for the ball, it doesn't hurt as bad. And so I was like, maybe let's go for that. And so me and Jenna, team manager, talked and threw some different ideas around color schemes and how to match up this with that, and then we came up with the idea of the red to the black fade, and then it looked really nice. And I was like, man, we have to get these done. So reached out to a production company in Kansas. I think they're called Resto Manufacturing. And they specialize with volleyball clubs like ours. So sent our mock-ups to them. They designed it for us. They said, "What do you think about this?" And we were like, "This looks incredible." And so that's how we made the jerseys. And honestly, I'm loving them. They look great.
Awesome. Great collaborations can be had all around with the Crusaders Boys Volleyball Club. We're at half an hour here, boys, so I'm kind of running out of stuff to mention. One big question I do have is, for the future of this club, what's a main message you want to leave for the underclassmen who could be taking this on, as kind of their own once they get to become players? Just tell, what's some advice that you would leave for them?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak from experience, as a captain of this team, one of the captains and one of the players, and I just want to say, if you want to play, don't hesitate to join. You won't regret it. It's a really fun sport. One of my favorite moments from the season was against Jamestown, the first game, and we were down, I think 5 or 6 in the second set or third set, and we needed to win to not lose. I think it was the third set. And we came back from 19 to 23 to win this set. Ooh. And things like that, it's just moments.
Close game.
Yeah, really close game. Incredible. And so things like that, it's you can't get it anywhere else. And it's the feeling of working together as a team and to win a game like that is it's so cool. So I would say to underclassmen, don't hesitate to join it. It's a really fun sport. You'll make great memories doing it. And our slogan is make history. And so when you join the Crusaders, you'll be making history, literally. I mean, every single season, something new is happening in Minot with this team, and you're making history. So that's my encouragement to everybody listening. If you want to join, don't hesitate to do it and make history.
Glad to know that there is some competitive matches that you guys have been a part of. One last thing here. How helpful has RA Deemers been for you guys in this process? And Noah, if Minot High has been involved as well?
Yeah, I mean, definitely have to be grateful to our Deemers. I mean, without them, no gym space for games, and so without gym space, you can't play. So, really grateful to them. They didn't over manage us. They gave us independence to do what we needed to do, and they just stepped in to help us when we needed help. And giving us the time and the space to play games, huge help. So, very grateful for their help with us.
Any other final thoughts, Noah?
I really appreciated that we were able to have a practice area at our Deemers because we were hopping behind or around a bunch of times.
Yeah,
our Deemers allowed us to stick with it for a little while. It was really nice.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Shout out to RE Deemers for providing you guys some space with that. And any last final thoughts from you guys that you want to share that maybe we didn't touch on earlier that you'd like to get the crowd to know about? Obviously, social media, Crusaders Boys Volleyball, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, first game, January. Anything else you guys like to throw out there?
Yeah, I mean, I just would like to say again, this is a really fun sport, and truly, it's been a privilege for me helping to run this club over the last year, and it's just it's such an honor, seeing this club grow, seeing how many people are involved. The fans have been huge. Shout out to the fans and the families of the players. My parents, the parents of all our players, all the players who've played, thanks to them, honestly, this isn't possible without them, and all our sponsors and everyone who helped us make this a success. It's not a solo effort. Yes, I had the idea, and I did a lot to bring it together, but it's not just me, of course. And so, just shout out to everyone who helped make this possible. It's been such a fun ride, and I can't wait to see where it goes, honestly.
Final thoughts, Noah?
Yeah, I mean, definitely without the sport, this wouldn't have been possible. So I'm really glad that all happened.
Mm-hmm.
Juju, Noah, thank you guys for being on the Minot Sports Podcast today. It's great pleasure to have you guys here in the studio and just kind of shedding some light on this brand new volleyball club that you guys got started. So yeah, and there you have it, folks. That was Juju Ugobi and Noah Lawson from the Crusaders Boys Volleyball Club. RE Deemers Minot High connections to be had everywhere. I also listed on here, you guys have an email as well, crusadersboysvolleyball@gmail.com, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so feel free to reach out to them. Of course, we mentioned social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can find all games, highlights, all that cool stuff involved. And that is it, folks. We just want to thank you for tuning in to listen to another edition of the Minot Sports Podcast. And we want to give another big shout out once more to KMSU TV Radio. They're our studio sponsor, being able to provide the facilities that we have, and well, they have, but we all just come together to get behind the mic and just go right at it. So we're very thankful for them, and this was probably the last of what we see from the Swain Hall Studios. So hopefully next time, fingers crossed, HeartNet will be all nice and shiny, ready to go for us. But with that, folks, I'm Cole Clementich, your host, saying so long. Have a good rest of your night, and of course, be sure to catch some Crusaders volleyball in the future.